Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Sammons, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Danielle Nonog, the founder of Muse, mentoring unique skills eloquently, a bold coaching and mentoring brand that helps women harness process polarity and personal branding in thrive in sales and business. Neil, very warm welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Olivia.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I do want to dive in. So with all my guests, I like to start at the beginning of their journey. So what was it that you was doing beforehand, and then what motivated you to start up Muse?
Oh boy. Before Muse, I evolved my brand several times. It used to be called Sharp Stilettos, and my motto was all about we sharpen ourselves so we heal up and elevate. And the heal up is a play on words with the heels that women wear. Think of
Yeah.
like stilettos heels. Yeah. So the way it even started is I worked in the adult entertainment industry as an exotic dancer.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, even before going into the industry, I had no idea I was going to go in there. I just really needed money. I was a girl with a lot of college debt.
Yeah.
And even after I graduated from college, I felt like I was stuck with a dead end job. And I knew I wanted something more for myself. I then met this woman who was dating my brother at the time. She was really young, and I noticed that she lent my mom so much money. And I remember being apologetic because I'm like, oh my gosh, because I know what it takes to work hard, right? We're going
Yeah,
to pay you
exactly.
back. But the way she responded intrigued me. She said, oh, just take your time. I'm like, what? How are you not stressed?
Yeah.
So she revealed to me that she would tell everybody she works at Hooters, but actually she worked at a club, a gentleman's club. So
Gotcha.
I got close with her, and then she taught me how to sell in the club. And she also changed my whole wardrobe because I was such a tomboy. I was chubby, and I had all these habits. Like, I didn't really know how to take care of myself in that way, and I didn't really know how to talk to men. But
Mm.
being in there, she mentored me to sell more effectively, and she changed my look. She even taught
Wow.
me how to walk on heels. Imagine a tomboy learning all that stuff.
Yeah. I
So
don't have to imagine too hard. I'm probably the
oh
same.
my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a way, when I explained this story to someone, they were like, wow, this was like a stripper boot camp. I'm like, essentially, yeah, it felt like that. But the real mastermind behind this was her brother. So her brother was a genius who taught her how to hustle and taught her exactly how to text the guys, how to talk to the guys. And he has a background of going to school to be a venture capitalist. And he knows sales very well. He read a lot of sales books with us, but in
Hmm.
a way, he's like what people would call, oh, is that a pimp? Like a dancer pimp? Because he would collect a percentage from us, 50%, in exchange that he would mentor us. But he had the system down. It was right before we went into the club, we had to visit him, and he would read these sales books and he would apply the knowledge into us role playing with him before we go
Hmm.
into the club. And we did that, and it was remarkable. I had no idea I was going to make this much money in that short amount of time, in just several months. And yeah, that was my growth as far as learning sales and
Yeah.
becoming more feminine. And I had imagine being in the club, it's so competitive. So you
Mhm.
had to learn how to stand out in a sea of gorgeous women. I learned how to do that. And eventually I became so good at it that I left him and made money on my own. And I turned it into a coaching business as I hired my mentor, because my very first mentor that I hired revealed to me that I was a hamster on a wheel. There's more to life than the club. I'm like, wow, yeah, I don't want to just do this.
Yeah.
'Cause it can be very addicting. Yeah. So I turned it into a coaching business where I was helping women make more money. And through that process of helping women make more money, I was noticing both the women and the men, my regulars at the club, were asking me dating advice. So there was something in there
Yeah.
that I knew a lot about. And I was having an identity crisis at that time. I'm like, am I the person that helps women make money or am I a dating coach? Because everyone's calling
Mm.
me a dating coach. And over time, I took a break from that because I was dating someone who I almost married who was like so not for that lifestyle, was very embarrassed of that life. So I left it behind.
Okay.
Yeah, now that I'm not with them anymore, I didn't necessarily go back to the lifestyle, but I went back to coaching these women. And so that's where I named it Muse. I've had other people like ask me questions about my past, and they're like, wow, you should bring this back up again. And I came up with Muse because now that I've learned high ticket sales, like remote high ticket sales with a different mentor, like a sales mentor,
Yep.
he gave me this idea like, wow, there's a huge market to be done here. And he wasn't sure there's like money to be made in this type of market with the women in the industry, but also like in a heart-centered way, I helped reveal to him that, listen, a lot of these girls are struggling to find an exit plan.
Yeah.
And that's how Muse came to be. Originally, I just want to, not originally, I still want to do this. I still get to do this, is transition these women out of the industry and into sales because these women are already stellar sales women, even though they don't call themselves saleswomen. And
Yeah.
recruiters.
No, you actually, it's a great story. Thank you so much for sharing that with us to start with. And in general, as obviously working in sales myself and coming through kind of the sales pipeline and going through mentorship,
Yeah.
you actually learn so much skills. And it's not even like door to door, like you're fully just selling. Like it's
Yeah.
the skills that you must have learned in the club, like pushing through daily, like they're kind
Yeah.
of matchable at some point. So I completely understand where you're coming from. Uh,
Imagine the rejections we had to deal
yeah,
with.
that's
And
what
we
it's
had
like.
to play it off like it doesn't affect us. So
Face to face. I get it. It is like the knocking, it's like cold calling on doors.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But as you say, in stilettos, on heels,
In
trying
stilettos, yeah.
trying to be the ultimate feminine, like feminine masculine with masculine energy with your heel. Like it's just the level of which the intensity of the sales happens in a club is un in my personal opinion, pretty much unparalleled. It
Man,
genuinely
yeah.
is. The skills that you learn how to do that is wild. You also learn people skills, which are very important in sales.
Oh,
Really
absolutely.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Um,
learn how to read people after a while.
Yeah, no, you really do. So let's dive into the business a little more itself. So
Yeah,
walk me through that so the listeners have a little bit more context. Uh,
sure.
so who would you say is your ideal customer? Who would you love to work with out of a crowd? And then from there, how is it that you help them?
Okay. My ideal customers are women from the adult entertainment industry, and they're so ready to transition. I've been talking to plenty of them lately, and they're scared to transition.
Yeah,
There's that fear. But yeah, the ideal ones for me are the ones that are just so ready to go all in into entrepreneurship. But the ones that I have been attracting lately and are investing in themselves in some way are normal, everyday people that need help with standing out, whether it's in their business or in
yeah,
dating. So that's when I'm working with a mentor, and she recommended that I market myself as the attraction mentor. I'm like, okay,
nice.
that makes sense. And it goes hand in hand with Muse. If you think about
Yeah,
Muse, we inspire. Yeah.
yeah, love it. Aspire and attract. I'm here for it. And how do you go about acquiring your customers at the moment? Is this mainly like online or do you do it more in person?
Oh,
Or is
yeah. So both. I go to a lot of networking events, but I've built my online presence over time,
nice.
helping. It's funny. I always say underground because when I did grow stilettos, sharp stilettos, I only organically added women of the adult entertainment. And I remember there were these women organically sharing my content. I've never asked them to share it. They just did because they found value in the free content I
Yeah.
was putting out. And they were saying, girls, you need to follow this page because I made $5,000 in one night just from her free advice alone. I'm like, okay, that's when I'm like, okay, that's where I get to make a course out of it. And I did a couple group coaching programs and it just grew over time. That's how I grew my presence, basically.
Love it. Yeah, and it's great, but obviously the message is resonating with people, which is hence the organic growth and the coming up through the top. Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you run any form of funnels or paid ads off of the back of that, or is it just pure organic outreach?
It's pure organic at the moment. I have spoken with several people that I want to work with as far as paid ads. I'm just not quite there yet, but it's part of my goals. But yeah,
Nice.
right now it's just organic and posting every day.
Amazing. And then, so you did mention you have a coach or you have a mentor, and I'm assuming you're working with a couple of agencies to help with the ads on top of that, or is it all within the mentorship itself?
That's a separate thing
Okay.
because when I was being mentored into high ticket remote sales, they gave me placement services. And when
Yeah.
I was placed a job, I worked with a marketing agency that was like
Nice.
targeted for dog trainers. But I
Yeah.
found that they were able to help anybody. They just niched it so it's to get the business going, right?
Yeah.
They have a bigger mission behind that. They genuinely want to save as many dogs' lives. So the more dog trainers they help, the more dogs get to be saved away from putting into kill shelters.
Okay, nice.
It's a
Oh, very
beautiful
nice.
mission.
Yeah. And as you say, that as I imagine the skills are pretty transferable coming from an
Oh
agency.
my gosh. Yeah, I learned so much from that marketing agency.
Yeah,
Now I really understand how internet marketing
love
works.
it.
So,
Amazing. And I'm assuming as well, in terms of sales teams and things like that, are you running all that side yourself, having the experience already?
yes, yeah. Oh my gosh, selling from the club and then selling from the computer and with like actual professional salespeople is such a different thing, but it's really interesting.
Awesome. I can imagine. And then when you're like finding customers as well for Muse, are you the ones that's conducting the sales on that side of it as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
since I'm still in the foundational phase, I am the one taking that. But I have several women that are just for my movement. They're like, "Oh my gosh, can you hire me to like coach with you?" I'm like, "Hey, maybe as this continues to grow, sure."
Yeah, as it continues to grow, which actually leads me on to my next question very well. What is the plan for the next 12 months? Are there plans in place to scale? Have you got any specific targets that you're looking to achieve?
That's a good question. I realize I could be better at putting a tangible number as far as how big I want my team to grow. I do want it
Hmm.
to be manageable because I do want our relationships to be like very deep with each other. I've always imagined myself with a group of women that are just, they want more out of life. It's
Yeah,
almost having my own best friends in a way. And being from that industry, it's really easy to be misunderstood. But then
yeah,
I'm surrounded by women that not only are freaking skilled at making money, they're very entertaining, fun to be
yep,
around. And
yep.
yeah, but as far as scaling, yeah, I do see myself with a group of women and we're coaching more women from that industry. Oh, as far as tangible numbers, I did do some research. There are about 600,000 women in the employed as in the adult entertainment industry, but about 400,000 of them are struggling with an exit strategy, and those are the ones that I want to talk to and help.
Gotcha. So it's just a matter of time to reach them and get the message out to everybody.
That's
4,000,
right.
400,000 is a lot. It's a lot of women.
It's a lot of women,
Oh,
but
yeah.
not if, when I duplicate myself to coach
That's
more,
it.
then one can impact thousands.
That's it. That's it. That's the plan. So what would you say is the biggest challenge in making all that happen at the moment?
Oof. So the first thing that comes to my mind is I did have a team originally, and but unfortunately, it is what it is. So I've deepened my faith with God recently, and because of that, I've also connected with people in the community and how there are women suffering from their husbands. This is raw, by the way, sharing this on podcast. I hope you don't mind. But their husband's with a porn addiction. And
Okay.
because of that, I've made a new stance where I not only want to just help the women transition out, I see this, I see another layer to it where that the less people that are involved in the porn industry, the relationships between men and women are going to be better. Because I'm seeing it in
How
regular
powerful.
dating. A lot of men, they may be harmless, they're great men, but you can just feel something in the energy where they're dealing with some kind of addiction. It's causing them to be less relational to real women, you
Yeah.
know?
100%. It's definitely, I was actually listening to it on another podcast the other day where porn is the breakdown in society, was basically the theme of the podcast. And it's true, it's putting an unmeasurable expectation on sex for both sides. Whether women can have porn addictions as well, so it's only
Totally.
of it. So it's not fair to point fingers at men, even though we like to. But
Right.
it's putting unfair expectations on it. And it was also meaning people are less, how do I put this? It was, we have too much boundaries now when it comes to sex because people are more comfortable being on their own than they are in a couple when the
Oof.
relationship forms. because they're too used to satisfying themselves privately than having someone else do it for them. So they can't connect on that level.
That's
What?
a dangerous system,
Yeah,
but
crazy. So
it's
I'm with you
happening.
there. Yeah, it's mental.
Yeah,
Um,
so when you say challenges, I'm thinking about like my previous team. We were all aligned, we were all for helping these women transition. But when it came to the part where I talked about I'm taking a strong stance here, I had these people like resist because they're
yeah,
like, oh, but what if I like being in the industry? Because porn's not always bad, this and that. And I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry,
the
we can't work
alignment's
together.
out. Yeah, that's never good. I mean, everyone
Yeah,
really
yeah.
needs
So
to
that's
be.
the challenge that I'm dealing with.
Yeah, keeping everyone aligned and on the same mission. Again, as a founder, that's one of the problems when you
Yeah,
learn to, when you scale is getting the right people on board as well.
absolutely.
Completely get it. So before we wrap up, I've got one final question for you. So
Sure.
for our listeners who are maybe just at the start of their own journey or looking to embark on entrepreneurship themselves, what advice would you leave them with to help moving forward?
Ooh. So this makes me think of if I were to speak to my 21-year-old version self going into entrepreneurship, when you decide on something, focus on it. So I remember my young self liked to dabble in so many different things, you end up not like really completing things.
Love
So
it.
like focus on it, and then if it doesn't work, then you can go to the next thing. That's my biggest advice I would give those who are starting off.
Amazing. And with that is a wrap on another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Danielle, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your incredible journey and insight with us today. I had a great time and I hope you did too. Where can people reach out to connect and work with you if they wish to do
Yeah, for now, reach me on Instagram and Facebook. It's Danielle Nonog. You just spell my first and last name.
so? Awesome. Perfect. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from zero to 30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep climbing and we will see you on the next one.